What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, Nick and Xavier. And today, guys, we are going to be previewing UFC 330 Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry, the new king at 170. This is his first title defense. Islam Makhachev, if he wins this fight, has the most wins in a row in UFC history. This rivalry here, a little bit of a callback to McGregor versus Habib. How excited are you guys for his first title defense at 170?
I'm absolutely pumped. At this point, like with John Jones, like let's just call him retired at this point. Islam my favorite fighter on the roster. Um, he's the one chasing like GOAT status, literally, like the only one I see like right now in contention for GOAT status. And I mean, like every notch at welterweight on his belt just solidifies him even further, as the number two fighter of all time. Like, so I think that Ian Garry, for his own right, is a hell of a challenger. Um, Dubbed himself the future, and I mean the future might be now, it won't be, but like it might be now, you know what I mean? He has earned his way through some hard matchups, to his credit. Um, I think that he looked pretty good in the Shavkat fight. Granted, I do kind of feel like that fight was kind of, it did give me that like more sparry kind of vibe to it. I don't think either of them, I think both of them were showing the other one a lot of respect in there. And that kind of just tends to happen naturally just when it's former sparring partners in there. So I do think that that fight could have looked a little different had they never trained together at all. But even with that being said, like he did perform admirably against Shavkat. But at the end of the day, it's time. The champ has a name, and it will be and still on Saturday.
I'm pumped for the fight. Islam, he's going for the record, man. I don't think a lot of people would have expected Silva's record to get broken, like ever, damn near, or at least in like a long time. And the fact Islam can do it in this fight is awesome. Looking forward to it. I think stylistically, it's going to be a good fight as well. Uh, Yeah, I'm excited to watch. Of course, I'm on my hate. Definitely want Islam to lose, but I'm excited to see what goes down here.
Well, we'll get into the agendas in a little bit, but we all know about Islam Makhachev, Habib's air, complete dominance at 155, double champ. Let's talk about the challenger a little bit. Ian Garry recently claimed in an interview that his last five fights were harder tests than Islam's. So, one, do you guys agree with that? And two, uh, sell me on Ian Garry a little bit. Why is he a rightful challenger for Islam, and why could he give him problems?
Okay, let me just start with this. Let me just point out the, sore thumb, the elephant in the room, right? Moicano, right? Okay, if you take out the Moicano win, like Dustin Poirier, basically a champ, bro. Essentially a multiple time champ in the game. Multiple time interim champ. And, if not for literally the three best lightweights of all time, Khabib, Islam, and Charles, like would have obviously been champ. Um, I kind of put him like a slight notch, below Charles, like damn near equal to Gaethje at this point. Like I kind of had Poirier above Gaethje before recent events, but with the Ilya win, they're like neck and neck to me at this point. They're literally 1-1 against each other, so it's like they're equal caliber fighters, I would say. But like I would say Poirier has more grappling. I do think that Gaethje is a little easier to sub, and it would have been proven if he ever had to fight Islam. But it took Islam a couple rounds to finish him, but he did ultimately. And I just do think that like in terms of well-rounded fighters, right? Like it doesn't get much better than Dustin Poirier. On the flip side, like yes, the Shavkat loss, like that's the obviously like the best opponent he's had, lost to him. He did perform very impressively against Protez, but Protez was kind of getting stymied in there. And still he almost got finished in round five. And then a closer than people remember win over Bilal Muhammad, which like while he clearly was winning, like I'm not gonna say he wasn't winning pretty definitively, but the rounds were not like blowouts, you know? It was like he's getting the better of it 60-40. And one, Islam a better striker than Bilal, and two, he a much better wrestler than Bilal. So a lot of the positions and failed takedowns that Bilal was failing to get on Ian, I do anticipate Islam, especially with 5 rounds to work, being able to get him down and secure him. Um, so it's like I don't think that. Oh, on top of that, Jeff Neal and Wrestle fucking MVP. Jeff Neal and Wrestle fucking MVP. Like it's not even like you fought MVP mostly standing up and kind of like beat him kind of at his own game, which would have been more impressive had he, outstruck MVP. Or at least like 50-50 did. But instead, the man literally was a cross sniffer. Wasn't really getting any damage off that whole fight. Just basically being intelligent. And granted, I'm not gonna fault a guy for having bad IQ, but when we Russell fuck barely MVP and MVP ends up on top of you for like 2 minutes in that fight. And now you're fighting Islam in a 5 rounder, like who has damn near infinite cardio at welterweight since not weight cutting as much anymore. Like I just think it's bad news bears for Ian. I'm not gonna lie, and I do think that like Ian Garry, like you can point to Protez and say like okay they're more dangerous, but if you take out the Moicano win, Volk twice is better than any win on his resume.
Yeah. And also just look at how they're winning their fights. Like what's Gary's most exciting win? He outpointing Prates and almost getting finished 3 times. Like Islam is knocking out the featherweight goat and you D'ing him. Yeah, he beat Poirier, who's a legend in the game. JDM, I know we like to shit on him on the channel, but he's a champion. And then yeah, Morcano, it should have been Armin.
It should have been Armin, but he would have whooped his ass too. Again, like he already did
And
before.
then there would be no argument. What do you think, Nick, about that statement, first
Hey,
of
like,
all?
what's going on? Okay, first off, what's this man's record again? Like 17-1. Y'all acting like he's trash. Like he just beat the a former champion Bilal very easily. Bilal was never in that fight. He outschooled him on the feet. And the fight before, he beat Prates. Like everyone's raving about him. Like Ian pieced him up in those first 3 rounds. Like, and I get Prates is looking better, but we can't just say he's gonna win a rematch there automatically. Garry, I just have not seen him lose on the feet yet. Really, like Shavkat, that was kind of like a nothing burger fight, all in itself. And like that's his only L, just kind of a nothing burger. So I mean, I think he's the better striker of the two. If we're all being real here, and if it's on the feet for 4.5 rounds of this fight, who wins it out there? There's a good chance Ian Garry pulls that through handily. Like, my thing is the takedown defense has been very effective in the UFC against every opponent he's gone up against. I know Islam different, but we're still at a bigger weight class, right? And we all thought Taporia was gonna beat the shit out of Gaethje, and look what happened there. Sean Strickland versus Hamza Chimaev. It is the year of the upset, and this one seems like the least upsetty of that's not even a word, but it's the least upsetty of the bunch, like
Okay.
honestly. Like by far.
And by odds, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's close. I think Islam's like a minus 380. I mean, it's like pretty up there, but I mean, look, I think Gary better on the feet. So if it's there most of the fight, he's fast. The only concern I have, I will agree with the gas outs a little. If
Mhm.
he gets late into a fight, and if he gasses, Islam could definitely take him down and probably sub him. That's my only concern of the strat. But my biggest issue with the Islam JDM fight, JDM did not touch that man's chin once, bro. We have no idea how it's going to react to shots.
Okay.
Okay,
We have no idea.
one thing I would say is one, Ian Gary has never been known for his punching power, right?
Pillow hands.
Pillow hand, we know he's notoriously had pillow hands. And while I think that he can like definitely get some strikes off on Islam, and like I don't think that this fight's gonna be easy by any stretch, at least not early. I anticipate it being pretty back and forth. Hopefully Islam gets on the leg kicks, slows down the movement a little bit. I anticipate a lot of that. Ian does tend to plant on his lead leg a little bit when he wants to stop and strike a little bit. But for the most part, he's gonna be running around. But like I said, he does all that running, first of all, does get him against the cage a lot. In the clinch position, you know what I mean? And while his takedown defense in like against the cage is good, at the end of the day, you like Islam's comfortable there. Like even if he's just getting held up against the cage, Islam wearing on him, punch him in the body, knee in the thigh, you know what I mean? Sneaking around the back, knee in the thigh, trying to drag him down, like all of that just making him grapple and work. And like you said, I've seen Ian Gary slow down in 3 rounders and almost get finished at the end of them. So it's like over 5 rounds, I just don't think that like his gas tank is gonna hold up enough to keep Islam off of him, even if like let's say he gets up to the first 2 rounds and starts to fade. I think the last couple go bad for him. And even still, I do think that there will be some rounds where Islam, maybe not all of them, maybe all of them, like you never know, Islam literally that good, but there will be some rounds where Islam is just on top of him and he's just like surviving. When Ian Gary gets on the ground, he does not really try his best to scramble to the top. He kind of just like does jujitsu like lockdowns and tries to mitigate damage, which is fine. But like you are killing the round, and like
Not for this fight.
if anyone's well suited to deal with you down on the ground and even past that weak ass shit, like it's Islam. You know what I mean? You're gonna be tiring your legs out, holding on for dear life, trying to get to the next round. Like, good luck with that. I don't think that this is a fight where he can afford to like settle on the bottom because I think Islam's only gonna build and climb around and do what he wants from there. I think the best way to beat Islam is to be like Volk, where you're just scrambling constantly, never settling. He takes you down, you pop right back up. But I think that like the length of Ian Gary is kind of gonna hold him down more. I think that when you're little and you have a low center of gravity, you don't have to create that much space to be able to like generate the force to get up back to your feet. But like let's say like Islam climbs to the center of his chest and his legs are just like this, all lanky and shit. Like, how is he gonna get enough power to like get Islam off of him? I just don't see it. I think that his length, once he's on the ground, is gonna work against him a little bit in terms of like it makes it easier to kind of hold tall guys down sometimes than like smaller, shorter guys. So while his takedown defense is decent and maybe like the trips and shit might be a little harder because like I would say a lot of Islam's game is gonna be a little bit negated because like even like his little clinch knees and shit like that might not work as well with the height of Gary. But conversely, I think if he gets him down when he gets him down, I think he's gonna stay down like more than people are anticipating.
Yeah, 100%. That's going to be one of Ian Gary's biggest issue. This guy thinks he's like a master on the ground because he trains in Brazil or whatever. If Islam Makhachev's on top of you and you're trying to throw up all that cute triangles and shit, you're screwed. You are not Alexander Volkanovski. First of all, like Xavier said, that is true. Just the smaller body is going to help the wrestling. Also, Volk is what, a 5 times a better grappler than Ian Gary? And also, I want to double back. Let's ask a real question here. Are we 100% sure that Ian Gary is a better striker than Islam Makhachev? Are we 100% sure about that?
No.
This man head kick KO'd Volkanovski. Who did Ian Gary head kick KO? Daniel Rodriguez.
Bro, he's just taller and more lanky. It's like easy to see he's the better striker. It's
I
not
can see
like
the stick and move. Like I do think that like I do rate him the better striker. Like, but at the end of the day, I have rated a lot of people a better striker than Islam, and he keeps outstriking people. Uh,
Yeah, because also just the grappling thread just opens so much for him
right,
on the feed.
right. I don't think that you said it. You hit the nail on the head, Ed. Like because it's not a pure striking match. It's not kickboxing. Even like the wrestling threat opens up a lot of striking, you know what I mean? And it kind of like prevents people from like striking as freely as they would against another striker, you know what I mean? Because you know damn well, like, for example, like I was watching a lot of Ian Gary fights. He likes to do like that, like John Jones kind of almost like a knee stomp, but like more of like a push kick to the knee, right? He does that a lot instead of like traditional like, leg kicks or calf kicks. He more so does like, knee extenders, right? But I mean like with Ian Gary being so tall and Islam being the shorter guy and the wrestler, if he keeps flicking that leg out there, like I think if he does it like 4 times, like the fourth one's getting caught and it's a takedown. You know what I mean? So it's like people are talking about like all of the nullifications of what Ian can nullify Islam, but like I don't think that people are realizing that like a lot of what Ian Gary does is gonna like get him taken down against Islam. The backing up against the cage, the constant running, like I don't think that like especially because like even though that's how he fights all the time, it's not like he's gonna have to change the strategy too much. But I mean like in all of his fights, like after like the first 2 rounds, he starts to get hit a lot more. And I think that like the pressure and the grappling as well that Islam's gonna put on him will even tax him out even more than that. And I do think that Islam, I trust him more than anybody else damn near to push a hard five, especially at welterweight. So I just think that like it's a bad combination of things. Like to beat Islam, I do believe you're gonna have to shut him down or like really be landing shots that are like worrying him. And I just don't think that even Gary, even if he's getting numbers off and it looks cute, I don't think he's gonna be able to like do enough to deter Islam from like hunting him down and like being the Terminator in there.
look, I just think Ian Gary is very good. I just do think he boxes very tight, keeps a good guard, like does everything very
Crispy.
crispy, technically well done. So like I just think he's the better striker, but if it's there most of the time. Look, I think it's gonna be a tough fight. I actually see this being very back and forth in some ways, because let's remember this man couldn't get Dustin Poirier down at lightweight. So and any wrestler got Dustin Poirier down if we're being for real. And so I'm just saying, I think there's a better takedown guy right in front of you. He's bigger. He's going to be harder to take down for sure. He's just more massive. So I don't know, I can see a world where it's like the Poirier fight and Ian gets finished in the fifth. You know what I mean? Type of fight. I just don't think Islam gonna run through a dude who hasn't been ran through in MMA.
Yeah,
And
I'm not like thinking, I'm not predicting that he will run through him. I think that it'll be tough for
I
sure.
think 48, 47. I can
Especially
easily see
early.
that.
So
I see especially early like some issues. I can see them splitting one and two, but then after that, I think it's gonna kind of start
And you're like hating
more
so
and
much,
more and more going Islam's way.
bro.
Or a world where like if Islam gets that early takedown like he did against JDM, I could see where it's rinse and repeat all night. And like I don't think it's gonna get any better than however Ian Gary starts.
Look, it's possible, man. I'm not really rooting for Yin and Gary here. I don't.
You're just rooting against Islam.
Yes, absolutely. And so I'm going this way. And Ed, I was laughing the whole time during that. It was like a rant. He like got his voice up, like so much passion, and it was like quick. I was like laughing my ass off by that. But yeah, Ed, you're praying this man loses. You've heard
Oh,
all
well, I've been telling these two for the last I don't even know how long. If he wins the belt, it would be devastating for the UFC. This guy is the worst interview in the entire UFC. He is delusional, and all the bullshit aside, Islam Makhachev is not going to lose a single round in this fight. I don't see where Ian Gary can oppose damage. That's the key word. Where does Ian Gary damage Islam Makhachev? That's how people win rounds. He gets a takedown. He's not getting up. I think Islam subs him in the third round.
just runs through him, huh?
He doesn't lose a round. Ian Gary could have some cool moments, stuff a takedown or two, but he's not going to win a round off Islam.
Yes or no? Do we know Islam's chin situation at this weight class? We don't, bro.
We don't, but it's just that this fight specifically, I'm not worried about that. If it was Prates and Morales, 100% I'd be worried.
Gary got pop on him. It ain't like he's just like flicking shit out like Sean Strickland and never getting finishes. Like,
All I'm saying is I haven't seen him really deter anyone from hunting him down. And like even against Volk, like Volk was hitting Islam with some shit that was like, all right, let me like be more methodical and technical here. Like I don't know. I watched Bilal just literally chase after that man while getting popped in the face, but he was just like relentlessly pursuing him, like running him down, like and gassing him out. And I just think that the Islam pressure a little bit more sophisticated, a lot more like leg kicks and you know shit that's gonna break up the striking timing of Ian and like I don't know, man. I could see a world where he gets him down early, bro. And if he gets him down early and Ian's on his jujitsu guard shit, like trying to stay safe, trying to not let Islam pass, but Islam just camping out in the guard, whooping his ass, like him burning his legs out, trying to hold Islam there for dear life. Like I can see a world where it gets spooky real quick for Ian, man.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna predict it. I'm gonna predict maybe fourth round sub, but I would not be surprised if I am. I'm not even gonna say giving Ian too much credit, but like just doubting Islam. You know what I mean? A little bit.
Yeah, yeah. In a recent interview, Islam said that the JDM fight was dominant, but he wanted the finish. He just really he played it safe, basically what he said, to get that 170-pound belt. He said he's going to take more risks this time. He said he's here for not I think the long run. He said so. I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, I just feel like this is his second fight at 170. Also, he's more used to it. I think he put on the weight really well. He's big as shit in there. So, and do you guys not just feel the plot armor?
I feel it for Ian Gary, honestly. All this cringe shit he's doing, like he's the he's got the Hockett effect right now. He's the super villain, y'all.
I
Like,
will
oh,
say if Ilya and Islam lost in the same year, like that
And
would
Hamza.
just and Hamza, yeah, that would be just devastating. One, the whole region would just be down, but
The whole region.
just down and atrocious. But also, like, damn, like the UFC just has to be in shambles as well. And Poetan, like, damn, it's been like
And
down
Connor.
Connor, damn, like it's just been a terrible year, like good fiscally, but like in
Yeah.
terms of morale, vibes wise, like damn.
I
The
don't know.
best, the best thing they got going is Zahabi losing at the White House, like to Sean, like come on now, that shit crazy.
I have Gary winning, by the way, 48-47. But
I was about to ask your official prediction, but there it is. There it is.
yeah,
Let's
he's
see.
gonna shock the world, and do it.
I'm a fan, but not today.
So I'm pretty much sure that Michael Morales, not Miles Morales, is the a backup fighter for this fight. So that's pretty cool. They have a backup plan. love to see him in the cage before the year ends. But anything else on this fight or that, guys?
I don't see anyone pulling out of this shit, man. Ian Gary, I could see him really having to go back in the line on his arm and shit if he pulled out of here, to be honest. So I don't think he will. I believe he's healthy, he's young, he's only 28, but even if he is a little banged up, like I think he's still gonna make the walk and give a good account for himself in there.
I have heard news Shavkat is training again.
God bless, God bless.
So
Prayers up.
early next year, maybe end of this year. Who knows? Who knows?
All right, guys. Now let's move on to the co-main event here. We got a women's strawweight title fight. Jillian Robertson, number 5 in the world, steps up to take the new champ, Mackenzie Dern. Dern here is a minus 225 favorite. What are you guys' thoughts on this fight? Why are you laughing so much, Nick? And just give me your prediction. How does this fight go?
It's crazy. I never thought Dern would be the champ based on her L's, but she found the right wiggle to get in here while Whaley's gone.
I promise you.
Yep.
And honestly, they could not have given her a better stylistic match of her first title defense. I think she low key I think same as last fight. I forget what the scorecards were last time, but I think Jillian Robertson she's been good and she's clearly improved, but mainly out wrestled people and subbed terrible wrestlers damn near and grapplers. Like her last win coming into this is Lemos, and Lemos just lost to Dayanara, who is a beast, but once again lost to a wrestler. I just think I've seen Dern just easily be able to defend most people's takedowns. I think the only people she would have trouble with there is Whaley and maybe Suarez. Not 100% on that either. Dern's defensive ground game is great. She has good takedowns herself, but usually likes to be on the feet a little more these days. And I think she has a massive edge there. Massive edge. I haven't seen Robertson really strike for long periods in her fight, especially on the win streak. It really just been wrestling submission.
Right.
So I think stylistically it's a complete mismatch. I think Dern wins this fight. I Robertson also hasn't ever fought 5 rounds. So I don't even know if she has the gas tank to push all these takedowns or five. If she's attempting them and failing. So I'm gonna go with a round 4 TKO by Dern. I can see her getting the finish here, and they're marketing the UFC like her, I think, though. They're marketing her a lot. She's getting invited to all these events I'm always seeing her at.
She's pretty hot, so they like
Yeah, I mean,
they
Also
like
good
that.
looking.
She
I
been
didn't
like
want to be the one to say it, but
she
yeah.
been working and shit, you know what I mean? Like going the extra mile. Dana loves that shit. Let's
Yeah,
be
Data loves that shit.
I mean, at the end of the day, like whatever's gonna get you, like do OnlyFans, whatever the fuck, like whatever's gonna get you more eyes and make people care about you fighting. Like it's all it doesn't make a difference. You know what I mean? Like people can shit on people for using their sexuality to get views, but at the end of the day, does it take away from the fact that she's gonna go in there and defend her fucking belt and whoop some ass in there? Like no, you know what I mean? So I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like not to say that like fighters should feel like they have to do that, but if you're not willing to, if you are willing to shake some ass to get some extra cash, like why would you not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think she wins handily. Super hot as well, I will say. She's definitely up there. If we had a rankings list, very easily up there. She is
Yeah.
winning. I think easy dub, honestly. The odds are very close, I would say, for this.
I
Yep.
will I will say I could see a world where, Robertson's grappling, wrestling and shit gives her a little bit of issues early on in the fight. But I do think that, like you said, Dern does have a advantage on the feet at this phase, which I would say like usually she's the better grappler and sometimes has had to in her career figure out the striking on her way to like somehow getting the fight to the ground where she could use her ground game. But I will say like the ground game gonna come to her, you know what I mean? And I can see a world where she just does more damage on the feet, and then by the time it gets to the ground, she's just taking advantage and having her way. So
Yeah.
I don't think that like she's gonna run her over, but I do think that like she gets a finish
Okay.
probably in the first 3 rounds, probably like round three stuff. I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I'm leaning Dern here. Robertson's been pretty impressive. I think she's won like 7 out of her last 8, but like you guys said, it's kind of a stylistic thing. I think Dern is better on the feet, and like Robertson's grappling's probably not good enough to pose that much of a threat. And Mackenzie Dern's coach in the embedded or the countdown actually said that she's more hungry than ever. I don't know. I'm buying into it, and I think this is building towards Dern versus Zhang, and that'd be a fun build up. So I'm gonna lean Dern here by a unanimous decision.
Is she training with Perillo? So that cardio like all the way up right now.
Who else does he coach? I forgot.
You go just like a bunch of people, Amzad, Armin, like that. It's like the Jackson podcast
Yeah,
squad, basically.
and he seems uber confident in her. So
First
I
of
will.
all, both of the people you just named have bad cardio.
Ooh.
Hamza and Armin have shaky cardio, bro.
Well, they just started training with him though. Like, I mean, in the last year and a half, 2 years for sure. So,
Armin just got out wrestled by a 38-year-old.
I mean, I'm just saying, man, like he's spoken highly of and like has a lot of fighters clearly.
I'm fucking around, but
Yeah. It,
uh, the
is there anything either of these two women can do on Saturday night to convince you that they can beat Whaley?
no,
Okay,
So,
just
no,
checking. Just checking.
it don't matter if Dern goes out there and sleeps her in 10 seconds. That's-
yo, when the queen is back, like Rhaenyra, it's time to give up the throne. You hear me?
Yes. Let's go. All right. Let's move on, guys, to the rest of the card. Now, the MMA community is very not happy at the quality of this card. We don't have to go through everything in order. Let's just bounce around here. What is your guys' thoughts on the quality of this card? And throw me a fight that we should be interested in.
I
I
mean,
think that first of all to start, like it's a shit excuse for a main. Like if this was just a fight night, I would still be like for a fight night, this would need a good main event, right? Um, if you take away the top two fights, and to be completely honest with you, this Dern Robertson fight really feels like an interim title fight until like this feels like a placeholder until the rightful queen Wei Lee returns. So like it's not Dern's fault, but her reign just kind of feels like a placeholder reign, right? I can't help that I just naturally feel that way. And as happy as I am for her, like it's not really a needle mover that much, you know what I mean? So I mean, you take away the top two fights, and it's like I wouldn't even watch any of these fights as a. I mean, I would watch as an MMA purist, right? But I'm saying like as a casual MMA fan, like none of these people can like headline an Apex card by themselves. Like none of these matchups, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So I just think that like when you look at past pay-per-view cards, numbered events. And this one just stacks up very, very, very poorly. Very poorly. But I do think that, like, in terms of actual action, sometimes the fights like this produce, like, a lot of finishes and, an exciting night of fights for the fans. So I don't think that, like, the entertainment value is going to be lacking, but the name value certainly is.
this is the new meta Apex kind of card, if I'm being honest. Just like, I mean, they threw Charles Johnson Ochan last second, which is like the best grab they could have gotten in terms of the rest of the card, but the rest of the card is just lacking a lot of younger up and comers. Like it's just a lot of older guys that we kind of know like where they're at this point.
Right.
I mean, I kind of like Joel Alvarez got into the card versus Cheaty. Like that's kind of cool and fine and all, but I don't know. Like it's just a very mid to bad card. I think it improved a little bit over the last 2 weeks somehow, but it's not all that. It's not all that.
It's very few prospects, and usually, like I said on the last video, I think like cards usually you can tell like most fights have a clear purpose, right? It could either be to give a up and coming fighter a stepping stone matchup to try to build them up, right? It can be giving a new fighter a shit can so they can like just look good, right? A squash match, so to speak, to use a WWE wrestling term. Um, or like there could be like a measuring stick matchup where it's like, oh, let's see if a prospect is ready to get into like another echelon of fighters. You know what I mean? Or it could be like two contenders where it's like, okay, these are two fighters that are like fighting for a similar place in the ranks, and let's see like who's gonna go up and who's gonna go down. And I feel like with this card, there's very few like fights that fit any of those narratives, you know? I am seeing a lot more of like old heads that we know just banging it out one more time. That is one caliber of fight, but that's like almost like it's fun as a bonus addition to a card, right? But a card should not be based around a bunch of old head scraps. And I'm kind of feeling like a lot of these guys' potentials is already like understood, you know? Their ceilings are already hit.
This is a throwaway card, 100%.
I mean, like opening the card, you got Orobai versus Wells. That's a pretty good fight. But like, yeah, a lot of old heads on here, like Magny, Luque fighting fucking Trace Gore. Like, I'm trying.
Krishan Gore coming off that impressive win. So like I am like decently excited to see like what he's got. But if Luque gets another win, like how is that good for the sport? You know what I mean? Like Jalen give up at the first sign of adversity.
Hey,
Turner,
he's back. Come on, guys.
like I will say this, Fernandez, bro. Kevin Fernandez, is it Kevin Fernandez?
I think it's Cow.
Cow
Cow. Yeah.
Cal Fernandez? Yeah. He a fucking fiend with the leg kicks, man. And I do anticipate him chopping Jalen Turner down, making him start tweaking in there and getting this upset win for sure. Like I am excited. This is actually one of the matchups I am like the most excited about, like on the prelims for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Oh, God.
Yeah, I just wanted to say what a disaster that Abdul Malik and Stolfus is still on the main card. Why are they there? That makes zero. That actually ruins like the whole card, honestly. That they're all there. It's actually horrible. I don't understand it. Like it might actually be the worst fight on this whole card. Like it's better than maybe 2 to 3 I can see, but I don't like that. I like the Charles Johnson Ochoa fight they added.
That'll be a good fight.
I think that'll be a scrap. I wonder who y'all got in that. I actually don't know. I think that's close.
Well, for my fantasy team, I need Johnson to win, but I said Johnson's a little more dangerous, but Ochoa is like better. I don't know. I'm gonna lean Johnson.
You have to lean
I
Johnson.
have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I was almost like Johnson has fought a lot this year, but he hasn't looked very good.
Are they
Like,
both short notice?
I mean, they might have they might have been on the main card the whole time and the UFC just announced it. So I have no clue, but it would be a week's notice about, or well, like 2 weeks, 1.5, something. But I would, I feel like Ochoa is the more talented of the two, but his losses are against the better comp. And this is like a Charles Johnson tailor-made dub, just randomly being a prospect and then losing to like Tim Elliott somehow like next week, which he should never lose, but Charles Johnson definitely up and down, so we'll see.
For the sake of the sport, I'm gonna cheer for Ochoa just because like Johnson, I just think he's just a certified prospect killer. That's what he does. He is really the Midas of the UFC. He knocks you out and then you go on to turn into gold and become and get gold. Um, so maybe he might bless Ochoa with the loss so Ochoa can go on to do great things. Who knows? But
That's fair.
I'm gonna pick Ochoa here. Like I just think that like he has a little bit more momentum on the side. And I mean his two losses are to Loner Kavanaugh and also Ambayev, like two absolute fiends in the division, so I can't blame him for that.
All right, guys. Why don't we wrap up the video here? Give me your fight of the night and performance of the night predictions.
Fight of the night main event. Perf
Uh,
Performance of the night. Uh, I could see Reba Vic doing something dirty to Barbosa, bro. I don't know where he's at, but I don't know. I was just not loving what I was seeing on Embedded. And the man, like he was throwing a bunch of leg kicks, but like I really haven't seen Barbosa throw a leg kick in like 5 fights. So it's like clearly like what you're training and like when you get in there, what you feel like you're capable of doing is not, lining up anymore. So I could see Ribovics getting a performance bonus just because of who he's facing for real.
yeah, fight of the night also go in main event. Um, I think performance of the night. I'm gonna go with Dante Johnson. Excited to see what he can do again. He's training with Extreme Couture now.
Getting those hard rounds off of Sean
Yeah. So yeah, he's fighting Eric.
Meconico.
Yeah, however you say that. And yeah, he should get a knockout here, I think. It seems like a step up fight for him, like slowly, so he'll get it.
Yeah, I mean, and Strickland will have that cardio right. We know that at least. We know that he'll push his ass in the gym and like make sure like he can go some rounds.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Sure.
just for sake of argument to be different, fight of the night, I'll go Orobai Wells. Orobai's always in like pretty entertaining fights.
I was thinking of doing that one.
And performance tonight, I'll go with Islam Makhachev.
You.
When he shuts out Ian Gary and then subs him in round four.
Yes, sir. Yes.
If it was fight, y'all. Like Islam, I really want to. In my head, I'm low key thinking Islam's probably gonna win 48-47. I think it's gonna be closer than you think, Ed.
That's fair. We'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please go check out the TikTok and our previous videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.